This is Lesson 5.2, Estimate Quotients. It is found on pages 211 through 214 in your workbook. So, I'm going to tell you a Halloween dad joke. How about that? Why don't skeletons ever get nervous? Yeah. Why do you never meet an anxious skeleton? Well, because nothing gets under their skin. I mean, mainly because they don't have any skin. Moving along. So our learning target in this lesson is going to be using division facts and compatible numbers to estimate quotients. And hopefully, as always, you can do it on your own by the end of the lesson. All right, let's do our look back. So we're going to complete the equation. So this is multiplying by 20, and we're using math facts. So 1 times 2 is 2. Add that 0. 2 times 2 is 4. Add that 0. 3 times 2 is 6. Add that 0, and so on, right? We're just adding the 0. 5 times 2 is 10. Add the 0. 6 times 2 is 12. Add the 0. 7 times 2 is 14. Add the 0. 8 times 2 is 16, and add the 0. 9 times 2 is 18. Add the 0. 1 times 2 again is 2, or 10 times 2 is 20, and add the 0. Right? Or we can do 1 times 2 is 2, and add the 2 zeros. All right, well, let's look ahead then. Use the equations above to help you decide which of the following is the best estimate for 154 divided by 20. Well, I think it would be our middle one here. Why would that be? Why would that be? Here's what I'm going to say. 7.5 is between 7 and 8. Both are reasonable. Both are reasonable estimates, but 7.5 is closer. All right. Now, in this lesson, we're not really going to do decimal answers, right? As you can see in our key concept, estimate quotients. They're going to estimate 4,139 divided by 6. And they want you to think, what numbers close to 4,139 are easily divided by 6? Well, you can use 36, right? Because 36 divided by 6 is 6. Math facts, using those division facts. And then we can use 42. 42 divided by 6 is 7. Again, another math fact. Well, choose 42 or 4,200 because 4,139 is closer to 4,200 than 3,600, all right? So, 4,139 divided by 6 is about 700. So we're trying to get close to the actual number. All right, and then our other example here, estimate 28 or 2,805 divided by 38. Well, what numbers close to 2,805 are easily divided by 40? You see what they did there? They took 38 and made it 40 because our 4 there in the tens place, we can use that to make a division fact that's easy. So you can use 38, you can use 28, because 28 divided by 4 is 7. 2 zeros minus 1 zero is 1 0. And then use 3,200. 32 divided by 4 is 8. 2 zeros minus 1 0, 1 0. Well, you can choose 2,800 or 2,800 because 2,805 is obviously closer to 2,800 than 3,200, right? So 2,805 divided by 38 is about 70. So sometimes you'll need to do just one of the numbers and round it or find a compatible number. Sometimes you'll need to do both of them. But in all of these, what we'll be using is division facts. All right, so let's do some estimating. So they give us two choices, right? They give us 540 divided by 6. Well, 54 divided by 6 is 9 with a 1 0. 6 divided by 6 is 1 with 2 zeros. Well, what's closer, 540 or 600? Yeah, this one is. So we're going to say 90. All right, I am going to do number 2 with you, and then you can do number 3 on your own. All right, so 49 divided by 7 is 7 with 2 zeros. 56 divided by 7 is 8 with 2 zeros. Well, which one is closer? Yeah, the 5,600, 5,600, so our estimate is 800. All right, go ahead, solve number 3 on your own, and then we'll go over it. All right, so they say 21 divided by 7, well, that's 3 with a 1 0 because 2 zeros minus 1 0. 28 divided by 7 is 4. 2 zeros minus 1 0, 1 0. Which one is closer? Yep, this one is. So our estimate is 40. All right, so on these next ones, you need to understand that some of you may have different estimates and different values that you're going to use to estimate, right? Just like they did on 1, 2, and 3, each of those had a couple different estimates that they did, right? I do want you to try to get as close as you can, but understand, as long as you use a reasonable number, that'll be fine. However, please understand also you need to use a division fact, all right? So you can use your multiplication chart, remember to do division facts. So I'm going to solve number 4 with you, and then I want you to do number 5 on your own. All right, and hey, our I can statement. I can use division facts and compatible numbers to estimate a quotient. All right, so a couple of the ones that I'm thinking of is 450 divided by 5, because 45 divided by 5 is 9. And then 500, because 5 divided by 5 is 1. Well, 45 divided by 5 is 9 with 1 0. 5 divided by 5 is 1 with 2 zeros. Well, I know that 450 is 21 away from 471. 500 is 29 away from 471. Now look, 21 and 29 are pretty close to each other, so both of these, I would accept both of these, absolutely accept both of those as reasonable estimates. Now, 500 divided by 5, all right, is not as close as 450 divided by 5, so I'm going to use my 90. However, let's say on number 5, you pick a different one. I don't know why you would, because there's an obvious one on number 5. But if you picked a different one and it could be reasonable, absolutely. So on problems like number 4, there's going to be 2 that are pretty close. And as long as that's a reasonable estimate, it's fine. All right? Go ahead and solve number 5. I hope you get the obvious one, and then we'll go over it. All right, so math facts, 28 and 4 are math facts. So I got 280 divided by 40. 28 divided by 4 is 7. 1 0 minus 1 0, so the estimate is 7. All right, you go ahead and try number 6. Try number 6, and then we'll go over it. All right, so if I'm thinking math facts, 47 and 8, what are numbers that are close to that are math facts? I got 45 divided by 9, right? Or you can divide 48 by 8. That's going to be 5. That's going to be 6. So you can do 4,500 divided by 90. That's going to be 5. Or you can do 4,800 divided by 80. That's going to be, actually that's going to be 50, not 5. That's going to be 60. So both of these are reasonable, but the 4,800 is closer. So if you were getting one that was closer to the actual number, I would say the 4,000 800 divided by 80, but then someone would say, well, but the 90 is closer to the 88. So see how both of them can be reasonable estimates? All right, so I like the 90 because I tend to focus on the divisor. You know, if you focus on the dividend, that's fine as well. All right, as long as we're thinking about math facts and estimates that are close to the actual number. All right, so I am going to do, what did I say, 50, because I like doing the divisor. Well, all right, let's end there for today, and then we'll start on number 7 tomorrow and make this a 2-day lesson. Well, this is day 2, lesson 5.2, estimate quotients. It's still found on pages 211 through 214. And today we'll start on page 212. So I got to tell you something about myself. When I have dinner, I invite the same friends every day. Did you know that? I have the same friends every day I invite to dinner, and they always show up. Isn't that cool? That I get to eat dinner with the same friends every day? Yeah, they're my taste buds. Man, this joke may leave a bad taste in your mouth. Oh, goodness. Moving along. So number 7, well, let me erase all this stuff first. Let me solve number 7 with you, and then you can solve number 8. So number 7, we got 39 dividing into 7,610. So let me think about math facts. There's 2 math facts I can think of. I can think of 3 and 6, because 6 divided by 3 is 2. I can also think of 8 and 4, right? This would be 8, this would be 4. The 7 would turn to 6, the 3 would stay there. So what it would look like is 6,000 divided by 30. So that'd be 2 with how many zeros? 2 zeros. And then I've got 8,000 divided by 40. That would also be 2 with 2 zeros, right? So either one would work, right? Yeah, see, I'm using simple math facts that I can use to get an estimate that's close to the number. Right? Well, it's interesting because both of these have the same estimate, but I think that this 8,000 divided by 40 is closer to the actual number, so I'm going to use that one, but it's still going to be the same one. So, you know, 6,030, it's also a reasonable estimate, of course, because it gets the same estimate. All right, you solve number 8 on your own, and then we'll go over it. All right, well, I can think of 6,300 divided by 90, because 63 divided by 9 is 7, and 2 zeros minus 1 zero, we've got 1 0. And that's really the only one close. I mean, maybe someone could say 6,400 divided by 80, right? And that would be 64 divided by 8 is 8. 2 zeros minus 1 zero is 1 0. But the 6,300 and the 90, so much closer. All right, you go ahead and try number 9, and then we'll go over it. Alrighty. I think a couple of estimates would be good. We've got 6,300 divided by 70. 63 divided by 7 is 9. 2 zeros minus 1 zero is 1 0. Another one I can think of, we got 6,400 divided by 80. 64 divided by 8, that's going to equal 8 with 1 0. So which one am I going to pick? I like this one because of the divisor. So I'm going to say 80. Now if you put 90, that's fine as well. So you can see on these that it's very important that you get to knowing those math facts, right? Whatever resource you have available to you to practice those math facts, you need to be using it on the daily. All right. Number 10 says, without calculating, explain how you know whether the quotient of 176 and 62 is closer to 2 or 3. Well, here's what I'm going to say. Since there are 3 groups of 6 and 18, it is closer to 3, right? 6, I'm using 6 and 18, yeah, because 18 is close to 17. Well, all right, let's go on to something that I'm going to be honest with you, I think is kind of silly. I'd use that other word I like to use, but you know. Okay, so 153 divided by 3. I'm thinking 150 divided by 3. Well, how would I put that on a number line? Well, I would do 50, then 100, then 150. Right? So I'm going to say 50. Right? Yeah, I can see why you might think the same as me. It's like, why are we doing this? This is asinine. Yeah, there's that word I like. 153 divided by 8, I'm thinking 160 divided by 8, that would be 20. So our estimate is 20. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160. And I guess they're one to show that, yeah, that number is going to be close to the number on the number line. The number that we estimated is going to be close to the actual number on the number line. They wanted us to visualize that. So I guess it's not as asinine as I thought, but still, do we really need this? Yes, Mr. Pingburn, we do, to be able to visualize it. Okay, fine. Moving along here. All right, so sorry for my poor attitude about that. That, I guess, is good for people to visualize. All right, so let's move on to number 13. So we're going to, without calculating, compare using the less than, greater than, or equal to. Okay, so let's look at this. 245, same numbers, right? All right. Well, if I put it into 199 groups, 200 groups, which is going to be smaller? 200 groups would be smaller, wouldn't it? Because I'm dividing it more. All right. Go ahead and look at number 14, see if you can do that. So they're both being divided by the same number. This number is larger, so the parts are going to be larger. All right. Go ahead and look at number 15, see if you can solve that. So, same number, smaller parts. Well, it's going to be larger parts because it's a smaller number. These are going to be smaller parts. So, this one. All right, and then number 16. All right, so again, going to have more in your grouping, right? If we divide by 310, if we have 310 groups of 3,457, there's going to be a fewer number in those groups. So 308. So again, you got to think about groupings, right? The larger number, that's the divisor, is going to put your dividend into smaller groups. If it's a smaller number, like 199 here, your groups are going to be bigger. Well, I'm going to put number 17 in one of your reviews for you. So let's skip number 17 for now and go straight to connecting this to real life. So our example, the Eiffel Tower, the Eiffel Tower is about 2 times as tall as the Washington Monument. About how tall is the Washington Monument? So it says that it's 1,063 feet, right? It's about 2 times as tall, so if we did the division, it would be dividing by 2, right? So we're going to estimate they're going to use 1,000 and then 1,200. Well, which is closer? Yeah, they're going to choose 1,000 because 1,000 is a lot closer to 1,063 than 1,200. So the Washington Monument is about 500 feet tall, right? We take the 10 divided by 2, it's 5 with 2 zeros left over. That's how we get the 500. All right? So with that in mind, I want you to read and solve number 18. So in 1 hour, $4,973 was collected from cars crossing a toll bridge. About how many cars crossed the bridge that hour? So several things I could do. I could make 4,973 5,000, and then I could divide it by 10, make this 10, make that 50, and 50 divided by 10, or 5 divided by 1 is 5 with 2 zeros. So we got 500. If you kept 11, maybe 5,500 divided by 11, well, that's going to also be 5 with 2 zeros. 4,400 divided by 11, that's going to be 400. I think that's maybe a little too off, which is interesting because if you do the 5,500, it's going to make it closer, and 5,500 is farther away. But I would say the best estimate would be the 5,000 divided by 10, being 500. All right? So I would say this is reasonable because it's close, right? These two, reasonable because they're close, but the best one would be 5,000 divided by 10. All right? So again, reasonable means you would be fine doing that. I wouldn't count it as incorrect because they're reasonable. All right. Number 19. Solve that one. Solve that one and we'll go over it. You rent the car shown for a 643-mile road trip. Which expression should you use to estimate how many gallons of gasoline you will need for the trip? Explain. Well, we get 643 and 30. Well, which is closer, 650 or 650 or 640 and 40? I'm thinking this one, and here's my explanation. 640 and 40 are closer to the actual numbers, right? 640 is closer to 643 than 600, and 40 is closer to 38 than 50. That's my explanation. All right, you go ahead, try out number 20, and then we'll go over it. A family spends $2,473 each year for cell phone service. Good grief, how much do we spend? That's ridiculous. That's a bunch of money. See, now I think of it, I think we spend more per year, not per month, per year. We got 5. Anyway, that's a lot of money for phone service. Okay, Mr. Kramer, let's do the math. Okay. So about how much does a family spend each month for cell phone service? Each month, a year. How many months are there in a year? 12. So we're going to divide 2,473 by 12. Well, 24 and 12 are math facts, so I'm going to take 2,400 divided by 12. I'm going to have 2 zeros. So $200. Again, man, knowing these math facts, that is what is going to help you the most on this. Well, all right, let's go back to our learning target. Use division facts and compatible numbers to estimate quotients. That's what we've been doing. Hopefully you can do it on your own. I can use division facts, and compatible numbers to estimate a quotient. Hopefully you can do that on your own, and I can find two estimates that a quotient is between. Hopefully you can do that on your own. And of course, I love you, so if you need some help, I'll be glad to help you. And those peeps who are at number 4, maybe you can help your peeps who are at a number 2. Well, all right, y'all have a good one.